Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for the week of June 2nd. This week, you start with this card that says your secrets are safe. You also have this Sphinx card. It says choose your words carefully. A lot of people have been getting these cards of like words. So, I don't know. I would just be careful of the words that you're using, mostly about yourself, right? Like how you talk about yourself and what you say you can do and can't do and all that other good stuff. It just seems to be a time. We do have like a lot of things going on in the month of June and, even sooner that I think where this could make sense, basically, that we should watch our words, right? So, we're going to have Uranus and Gemini at some point in the near future. We're going to have Jupiter's going to be leaving Gemini. But, after Jupiter leaves a sign, that's usually when we kind of like really implement the lessons that we've been learning. So even though it's leaving Gemini, it still could say that, the lessons you've learned about like how you talk about yourself are going to be important. So I would pay attention to the words you use, Aries. You start here in your current general energies with two cards. You have the Two of Swords and the Knight of Cups. This could be you making some sort of decision here. I do feel that some of you are kind of making a decision that could surprise people, and I'm pretty sure I said this to you recently. You have the Tower to the Two of Wands. The Tower I never really worry about, but the other thing is with the Two of Wands, the Tower with the Two of Wands can be you moving away from something that you're done with, and it could, just surprise people. And sorry, I'm losing my voice now. So it could just surprise people that you're walking away from something that you have built. And so sometimes I think Tower to Two of Wands is really a tower moment that you're causing for other people, but, whatever. The Knight of Cups could be love. So if you're looking for love, definitely could be like a knight in shining armor that's coming in for you. I really see that Two of Swords as a choice. I rarely ever look at the Two of Swords as a choice. Like, yeah, sure, she's stuck in a stalemate and she's trying to make a decision, but really her choice should be to go to these calmer shores right behind her and that new island behind her. But you have the Six of Swords right next to her. So on the Two of Swords, she has choppy waters behind her. Six of Swords is like moving across the choppy waters, so it looks to me like you're doing something to improve your life, which is good. You have the Queen of Pentacles. I think everybody with all this energy that's going to be in Aries, even though we don't necessarily consider Aries to be money, I do think that with Saturn and Neptune there, and, I think we are going to be asked to look at how we are being resourceful and how we are using our resources to create success in our lives. So, it's an amazing time. It has been for a couple of years now to be very resourceful and to look at, how you can use your resources in a better way. And that's really what the Queen of Pentacles does, is she looks at her resources and how much money she has, and she says, like, what can I do with this? And also, she maybe thinks, like, how can I do something I want to do without money, right? So I think being creative with your finances would be a good idea with that card. You have the Four Swords. Four Swords is resting, relaxing, recovering. So a lot of you could be healing and resting. This week kind of feels like a rest to me. It just seems to me like a lot of people are getting a little bit of a break this week, even though you have the Tower. Again, there's a couple reasons I'm not too worried about the Tower in your reading, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But, there could be some opportunities for you to take a break, take a rest, be able to just have a break just in general if you haven't had one in a long time. And so you could be taking a little bit of a break here. But let's see what wants to come up for you here, Aries. With the Two of Swords and the Knight of Cups, can't make this up. You have the Tower. I was literally saying how a decision that you're making could shock some people here. So again, like I said, I don't think this Tower is necessarily happening to you. I think it's something that could be happening to people around you. It's like you're making a decision to walk away from something. We go down to the Two of Wands. We don't think of the Two of Wands as walking away from something, but he is. He has this wand behind him that stands on its own, and he's reaching forward to this new wand here, and he's getting ready to like build something new. So, it's like something in your life is complete, and you're just stepping into a new reality. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Five of Swords. Again, I would be keeping an eye on your finances. I don't think there's anything bad about your finances. As a matter of fact, you have the Eight of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles here. And so a lot of you could just be improving your finances over the next, well, really probably over the next few years, really the next like 6 years, probably, because, Saturn will move into your second house in about 3 years-ish, somewhere around there. And, Saturn is in a sign for like 2.5, 3 years. And so, within, over the next several years, you could be kind of looking at how to improve your finances. Some of you could be walking away from a job as well, with this energy, and you could just be getting something new. With the Four of Swords, you have the Page of Swords. Page of Swords is a card of curiosity, and I do think it is an amazing time to be curious, to look into things that you're interested in, to look into things that you want to learn more about. All that stuff I think is great at this time. So any research or anything you can do to research things that you want to learn about, any of that would be really good with the Page of Swords energy, and I would be doing that. The other thing that is popping into my head here, Aries, is, before I move on, is that, if you have people in your life that are telling you that you're making an immature decision, I don't think people are calling you immature. I think people are saying things like, oh, you should really think about that, stuff like that. I would be careful because, the Hermit, you have the Hermit. The Hermit says you have thought about something for a long time. So it's like, obviously, the people in your life, they're not inside your head. They don't know how long or how much research you've done on something or how much energy you've put into something, right? So I would be careful of people telling you not to do things because you haven't thought about it, because you probably have. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have the Sun. It says the sun is coming to shine its light on what's been kept hidden, to reveal the truth. You have this Phoenix Rising card. It says you've been through the fire and rising up anew and embracing life in a deeper way. The Tower is a Phoenix Rising moment because, the whole point of the Tower is that those people are falling out of the tower. The tower always gets reduced down to its foundation, and then they always rebuild it back stronger. So again, some of you, I don't even think the tower is a big deal. I think that you could be rebuilding something or doing something new. This could absolutely be a truth that is being revealed with the sun. It says that, whatever that card says, I can't read it backwards. It says the sun is coming to shine its light to what's been kept hidden, to reveal the truth. So there could be some sort of hidden truth, but I don't really see that. Like if we had like the Ace of Swords here and things like that, which maybe it'll come up, but, that would lead me more towards the truth side of things. You have the Six of Swords, the Hermit, and the Tower. I would definitely avoid the drama at this time. I would say for the next 3 years at least of your life, especially with Saturn in your sign. And, I would just avoid people who cause drama and things like that. There could be people who are just, I would be careful of getting like strung along as well, is what I'm getting here, Aries. It's like popping into my head that the people you need to move on from are the people that do things to like keep you in their life, but they do like the bare minimum, right? So that's like one message I'm getting off of this card. Number two, I do feel you are moving towards something much, much better. I mean, all your readings have been about an upgrade. I mean, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is like working towards an upgrade in your life. So a lot of you could be moving on to an upgrade. You have the Hermit. Again, like I said, I feel like I'm not so sure that you're doubting yourself, but maybe people are creating doubts by saying things like, oh, have you thought about that? Have you really researched that or whatever? It's like, you probably have, is what the Hermit is saying. You probably have done enough research on whatever you're thinking about doing. The Hermit works in silence. He doesn't, when he starts his journey, before he gets to the top of the mountain, he doesn't need to prove anything to anyone because he's going through this learning process where he's going through Dark Night of the Soul, or he's doing some soul searching. And then when he gets to the top of the mountain, he has his inner light inside this lantern. So I believe his next step is to become an inspiration. He needs to show the world what he's made of by, taking action on what he learned. So he doesn't have to tell anyone anything. He just has to go and do what he thinks he should do. And doing that, you could be shocking people in your life. And I definitely get that feeling from these cards. Again, you have the Tower. Like I said, I feel like you could be surprising people with the moves that you're making, especially with the Two of Wands right next to it, as we already said. It's kind of funny that you have the Five of Pentacles here, because we go Five of Pentacles to the Six of Wands. It's like people are afraid that you're going to have success It's kind of like the feeling that I get here, Aries, is that people are afraid that if you become successful, that you're going to leave their life or, whatever. And I always talk about this because I think it stops a lot of people. It's like people will say things to us, or if we share our goals with people, sometimes they'll be like, oh, I don't know if that's a good idea, or that's dangerous, or that's risky, or whatever they say. And it's like that really holds us back. I don't think people do that to be bad. I just think they do that because, like, subconsciously they don't want to lose us, right? Or really what it is that they can't see themselves doing it, so they think that you can't do it. And, I feel that there is something about this reading. It's not just the Tower, but there's something about this reading that's saying that you have to make your own independent decisions and do your own things and, prove it. But, I think Aries energy is very much prove it type energy. Prove that you can do what you say. But you're not proving it to anyone. You're proving it to yourself. So, I think that's what's important here. With the Six of Swords, you have the Justice card. Yeah, balance. I think you're trying to create more balance. And the other, I think I said this to you recently, Aries. The other thing that pops into my head here is predictability. I don't think, life is ever really predictable, but, I think we can do things to make things a little bit more predictable. If you have unpredictable finances, you could be doing things to make your finances more predictable. Same thing in love. It's like if you have a habit of dating chaotic people, maybe you're choosing people who are more stable or who aren't so chaotic, who aren't so all over the place, right? And I don't know, that's really what's popping into my head with the Justice card. It's really saying that you're picking more predictable situations in your life. Nothing will be perfect, like I said, but, for the most part, I think you're picking things that are going to lead to more stability. With the Hermit, you have the Strength card. Yeah, this is required a lot. I kind of feel like you need to pat yourself on the back here, Aries, for the work that you've done. Like, sometimes I feel the Strength card, it is a card of strength. It's a card of, taming your inner voice. So definitely watch your words, like that card said. But at the same time, sometimes I think we have to, like, pat ourselves on the back with the Strength card and recognize our own strength. And we need to say, look what I've done. Look at what I've already accomplished, because it'll make whatever you're trying to do much easier. And we kind of see that here, with the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands, the story of the card is that he rushed to a finish line and he built his castle and he thinks there's nothing else for him to do. But really he needs to realize that he did something hard once, so he can do it again. With the Tower, you have the Three of Swords. Some of you could be experiencing a heartbreak, although I don't really feel that for most of you. I mean, this could be people. I feel like this is people in your life for some reason, which definitely could affect you on a certain level, right, Aries? Like, if people are upset or sad that you're making moves or that you're moving or quitting your job or doing something else, that definitely could lead to some sadness. But the Three of Swords is really about forgiveness, and it's about removing these swords from your own heart, because if you do that, if you forgive and move on and you heal your heart, you'll be able to move forward. So, I think the Three of Swords is encouraging you to make progress, to move forward, to remove those swords from your heart so that you can move forward. All that other good stuff is what I would be doing with that card. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this card. It says, you do not have to go it alone. It says, reach out for support at this time. You have this card. It says, there is hope ahead. It says, have the courage to take heart, for there is hope. So there is hope. It's not all bad, Aries. Things are improving. And I think you need to ask the right people for help. The people that lift you up, the people that support your vision, the people that want to guide you, the people that want to see you do better. And those are the people that I would be going for. You have the Moon, the Five of Pentacles, and the Two of Wands. The Moon, of course, is about completing the Moon's journey. The Fool has to go from here all the way to these mountains. And the Moon is generally like a lack of clarity. It's a card of fears, fantasies, illusions. So the Fool gets to the Moon, and he doesn't know, like, how he's going to accomplish his goal of getting to these mountains. But he just needs to keep going. He just needs to put one foot in front of the other, because eventually the sun will come up and things will be clear. Sometimes I feel the Moon kind of represents the beginning stage of something, because, really, whenever we start anything, we have no clue what we're doing. And then over time, obviously, we understand what we're doing. And so I think, the Moon could be saying that, yeah, you might not know exactly what you're doing, but if you keep pushing forward, you will eventually gain clarity and understand. You have the Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles can represent feeling left out in the cold. So the Five of Pentacles is a card that says you need to call attention to your strengths, not your weaknesses. And we have the Strength card right next to it. So the Five of Pentacles says do not focus on your weaknesses. Focus on your strengths. All the reasons that you can do something. And I feel like that's what this card is wanting you to do. The funny thing is we have this right here is meant to look like an anchor. And so the Five of Pentacles can say, like, sometimes what's stopping us from progressing is or at least what we think is stopping us, is maybe a lack of resources. But, the whole point of the Five of Pentacles is that, yeah, like it could be true that there are things you want to do and you don't have the money to do those things at this moment. But, how can you get started regardless of the situation? Like, what is the smallest thing you can do? Like, people always, the number one comment I always get is people say, like, I want to move, but I don't have money to move. I'm like, well, you could start researching the move. It's like you have to plant that seed. If all you're saying is I can't move, then you're not going to move. But if you start planting the seeds, then I'm convinced the universe will get out of the way. So, I think this Five of Pentacles is encouraging you to take those steps. And funny enough, we go down to the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is my card of planting seeds. Six of Pentacles is my card of doing what you can with what you got. So I would do whatever you can here, Aries. You have the Two of Wands. Again, you're definitely leaving something behind. I don't know. I feel like this is a little bittersweet. It's like this reading isn't bad, but it's also not good. I would describe it more as like a bittersweet type of energy where it's like, yeah, you could be, creating a tower moment, like walking away from something. And I feel that you're doing this for a brighter future with that Moon card. But, again, it's like something is done, this wand back here, I'm really focused on this wand in your reading, this back one. And it's like saying that something is done, something is complete. You've gotten everything you can out of it. And it's time to, grab onto this new wand and get out into the world so that you can have new experiences, so you can build new things in your life, so that you can grow and evolve and change. And it's like all those things could be happening for you right now if you allow them. So I would definitely make those moves with this card because, I think that you need to. The Two of Wands is about leaving a comfort zone. And the Two of Swords, the Six of Swords also can kind of somewhat represent leaving a comfort zone. At least with the Six of Swords, they're doing it for for a brighter future. They're moving on to calmer shores. So a lot of you, if you are moving on from something, it's going to be good. Yes, with the Moon, you have the Ten of Cups, true happiness, right? The Ten of Cups is like ultimate happiness. And one thing I will say with the Moon in the Ten of Cups is that it's a little bit like too much of a fantasy. The Ten of Cups is a good card, but these 10 cups exist up here above their heads. And, they sometimes I think maybe they need to make this a little bit more of a reality, whatever their dream is or whatever they're focusing on that is making them feel happy. They need to, take those steps to bring it down. And so with the Moon, I would make sure that you're bringing your dream down to earth. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is a card of conviction. It says when you know that something is for you, it's for you. One thing I will say with the Five of Pentacles is that, this could be you protecting your finances too much. And, of course, I'm not suggesting that you should be spending money like crazy or being irresponsible or anything like that. But, I do think that sometimes we have to get the flow going. If all we're doing is holding on to every last cent and we're afraid to spend, and I'm not even saying you have to spend money. I just think you have to get the flow going. I think there are a million ways to do that. I think going for a walk, creating something, putting it out into the world, right? Even if no one sees it, piece of art, a YouTube video, whatever, just creating something and getting it out into the world. It's like you are offering some form of abundance. And because of that, you're getting that flow moving forward. And I think that's what needs to happen here. So again, even if you are holding on to money, we can get the flow going without spending money. And, I would think about that with the Seven of Wands. With the Two of Wands, you have the Five of Pentacles. It's like something is keeping you trapped here or stuck a little bit. I don't think you're really stuck. And some of you, it's like money could be good. That's the other thing as well. But sometimes I think the Two of Wands is about potential. It's like, yeah, he's found a certain level of success, but the universe is like saying, hey, there is this whole wide world that you can get out into, that you can explore, that where you can reach heights you never thought you could, and you should, So I think in a lot of ways, this is encouraging you to get out of a situation. Like you could be making $1 million a year, but maybe the universe is like, no, you're meant to make $10 million a year or whatever, right? And so, like I said, I don't think this necessarily has to be a bad thing. It's going to be different for all of you. But I do think the universe is encouraging Aries to exceed their own expectations. Again, you have Saturn in your sign now, so that's what I would be doing. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this new moon card. It says beginnings on it, and you have this moon maybe. It says intuition on it, so you should definitely be trusting your intuition. We just had that new moon on the 26th, and definitely a great time to start something new with Aries energy, Neptune and Saturn entering Aries. I think now is the time to initiate. Now is the time to get started, and I would trust your intuition on whatever you're being led to. You have the Six of Wands, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Six of Pentacles. Six of Wands, of course, is like a victory or success. Six of Wands can be being celebrated for success as well, so you could be being celebrated at this time with the Six of Wands. I do feel, part of me feels like, Tower, Three Swords, Five of Pentacles to that Six of Wands is maybe people being jealous. It's coming up in the good stuff, but this person right here is meant to look jealous of this person here. And so, as you become more successful, don't be surprised if, people that you've had in your life are jealous or upset. But, the whole point is he doesn't care. He's just enjoying his success. He's just enjoying his victory. And I feel like you need to do that. Again, if I were based off this reading, if I were an Aries, I would be looking at, doing those things you don't do because of other people. That's basically what I've been saying. And, I think there are some things that you could be doing that could really create a lot of success if you did them. But, it's like maybe you're afraid of what other people will think, or maybe you're afraid of what other people will say. And, that's what I would be looking at. You have the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is material success on the horizon, so really good for money. I think a lot of you are financially focused, and you probably will be over the summer. And so a lot of you could be doing things to improve your finances or to grow your finances. And I think that would be great with the Eight of Pentacles. Anything you can do to, grow your finances will lead to more success. And that's definitely what I would be focusing on with this card. It's also a card of straightforward, diligent work. I've said it at the beginning of the year that the key word for 2025 is efficiency and being efficient. So, I think keeping things simple, he's doing something simple. He's just doing one thing that leads to a result, right? And, the problem is I think there's too much complication energy. So I think people are thinking, oh, I have to do this complicated thing to be successful. It's like, no, you don't. Things can be very easy. Things can be very simple. So keep it simple. You have the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is kind of like planting seeds. It is a card of equal give and take as well. So I do think things are getting more fair. The other thing is that if you're doing anything new financially, you could be getting more money because of the seeds you're planting financially, which I think is amazing, or would be amazing with this card, because I think it'll really help you out. So I would be doing whatever you can to try new things. With the Six of Wands, you have the Three of Wands. Yeah, Three of Wands is expansion. The whole entire reading says you are expanding past something. Plain and simple. And it kind of makes sense if you think about it. When we have Saturn in our first house or in our sign, like it is your sign, Aries, we do a lot of personal work on ourselves. We do a lot of, we change a lot and things like that. And we become more disciplined. And we have to be more disciplined with Saturn in our sign. In some ways, I'm a Pisces, so we just had Saturn leave our sign. And I would say I think Saturn in the first is harder than a Saturn return. My Saturn return was nothing. My Saturn return year was the best year of my life. So everybody's always worried about Saturn return, but I'm I think Saturn in the first is more challenging in some ways, but not in bad ways. These are good ways. These are ways that will make you grow and expand. And it's not like something bad will happen. It's just you are being asked to be more responsible. You are being asked to, be more diligent and all that other good stuff. And as long as you do that, you'll be fine. With the Eight of Pentacles, you have the Two of Cups. Two of Cups could be love. There's a little bit of love here, so if you want it, definitely exists. Two of Cups is also you and your higher self. So, it would be a good time to, again, trust that intuition, to listen to your higher self, and, all that other good stuff. And with the Six of Pentacles, you show up. Yeah, bossing up here, Aries. I think that, it makes sense with Saturn in your sign that you would be showing up as yourself, because it's like you are making changes to yourself. You are becoming disciplined. The Emperor is about looking for opportunities and taking advantage of opportunities. You're probably doing that. Next, you have this pig card that says, beware of greed. Yeah, I would be careful, greedy people. We had Mars retrograde in Leo, and then we've had Mars going through Leo, because it went direct, obviously, retrograded into Cancer, moved back forward to Leo. Even though Mars will be leaving Leo, I don't know. It's just like weird energy. You have the Seven of Wands here with the Five of Pentacles. Seven of Wands is Mars and Leo. So, I would be careful of greedy people or people who are trying to get something from you. It's definitely popping into my head with that Seven of Wands. The solution with the Seven of Wands is to put up boundaries. So I would be careful of greed. You have this ring card. It says a marriage will take place either in romance or business. So definitely could be love for a lot of you. I don't know that it's this week. It's like it shows up, but I think you're focused on other things in your life with this with this reading. So you could be like meeting a person or something that maybe you marry in the future, but there you go. You have this October card and this Ant card. It says work, achievement, success. Yes, a lot of opportunity this summer. So I would be taking advantage of those opportunities until at least October. Kind of makes sense. Again, we end we kind of end our eclipse season or whatever you want to call it in September. But it could easily last through October. So you could be putting in a lot of work. The thing about ants is that they can lift many times their body weight. Whenever I get this ant card, I always tell people, and Eight of Pentacles, right? It's like, where can you lift the most weight? I think we all have skills. We all have things we're good at. And there are probably some things that you can do better than anyone else where you get more of a result. And those are the things I'd be focusing on with that card. You have this Tent card. It says temporary situation. Moon, Three of Swords are both cards of temporary situations. So if you're dealing with some sort of heartbreak or something, it is temporary. You have this Kangaroo. It says unsettled times, need to plan ahead. Yeah, we are, until 2033. I've been talking about this since like 2016 on my channel, that until 2033, we're in a time of chaos. So I don't know. I think that, I went live with Devin Dewar yesterday on her channel, so you can go watch that live. I talked all about it basically at the beginning of it. But, I said that it's like the TV show Severance, like if you ever watched it. And it's like, I think that between now and then, it's almost like we will have two lives, kind of. Not really, but kind of. And it's like one life we're kind of like forgetting about maybe the old life. It's like the new life. It's like we're breaking free from the matrix. So, I think that's what the unsettled times are. It's like we're breaking free from things. All the astrology adds up to this. Neptune and Pisces, even though Neptune's in Aries, doesn't matter. Neptune and Pisces is, breaking free from traditional belief. Things that we always believe just because in whatever that is. So, there's like so much stuff that is really pushing us towards this. And it doesn't have to be scary. It'll be fine. So there you go. But this looks really good. Well, not good, but it looks like, I don't remember what I said, but it looks like something. Aries, you tell me in the comments. But thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.